The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. What's up, motherfuckers? It's Ted, and you've tuned into the Wrestling Exchange. I'm here with my co-host. He is.
Oh, you didn't know? It is me, Papo, and I'm chilling with the T-E-double-D.
Yeah, man, listen, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. If you're not familiar, I'm going to take a moment, give you a quick primer so that way you're aware of what's going on here. Okay, this is a conversation, it's a podcast, it's a webcast, it's a YouTube show thing, it's all live, nothing is scripted, where myself and my co-host, me being Ted, him being Papo, we go over what happens each and every week on Monday Night RAW, plus the WWE pay-per-views or whatever they're calling them nowadays. What we do is we go through segment by segment, and we basically describe the events that occurred, and we give our opinion. It's kind of like a review show or a companion show, so that way maybe you want a further discussion on what happened on Raw. Right? Maybe you want a little bit of help digesting everything you saw and heard. Maybe you missed Raw. Maybe you just don't have the time, but you want to be able to conversate with your friends and coworkers on the job. Guess what? We got you covered. 3 hours of Raw? Try like an hour, maybe an hour and 20 minutes of this program at the most. So, that being said, a couple of quick questions. Papo, are you ready?
Break it down.
All right. First thing, like the video. Really helps us out. That thumbs up button goes a long way. You could dislike it too, but I'd prefer you like it, right? Whatever you want to do, that's fine. Like, comment. Tell us what you thought. Tell us what you thought your favorite moment of Raw was this week, or tell us how bad you thought Raw was. Give us a score, right? 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 4 out of 10, I don't know, anything. Give us something. Comment, share, send it on all your social media websites. That's Twitter. And I'm going to pretend like I know about social media. I really don't. I'm on this YouTube shit. That's all I really know. So share with your friends. Let them know. You tell 2 people, they'll tell 2 people, and then 6 people will know. Maybe 7. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Papo. We got to get people subscribing. You subscribe. You click that button. You get an email each and every week when the video goes live. Sometimes we do on Wednesdays. Sometimes we do on Thursdays. We don't have a thing yet because we're both regular stiffs and we have 9 to 5s and we have real lives. Real lives. A real life? Am I doing this right? Am I drunk?
It's lives.
Whatever. Fuck it. We'll do it live. That being said, it's a passionate discussion between 2 wrestling fans. So a lot of bad language, sexual innuendos, 4-letter words, those things, some that start with an F, some that start with an S, some that start with a B, some that rhyme with cock. A whole lot of words that we're going to say with our mouth holes, and it's going to be entertaining, hopefully. So, last thing. If you go in the description box below, there's a link to what's called Patreon, patreon.com. And what that is it's basically a site where you can contribute. So let's say you have, I'm not asking for money, but I'm kind of asking for money. If you can't, you don't have to. It's not a big thing, but it'll help us with production costs. We get better cameras, better microphones, make this a little bit better of an experience. And maybe we get back to you something. Who knows? On top of that, though, I would tell you to follow us on Twitter, but spoiler alert, I really don't know how to use Twitter. I know hashtags are a thing, so I'll tell you what. Go to Twitter, type in @TedandPapo, or go to the description box below. It's right there. Tweet us. Tell me how to do it, because I'm old and fat and sweaty, and I don't know how to do Twitter. Papo, did we cover it all?
Yes, we did. And
Okay.
I got 2 words for you. D-cups.
Nice. We're talking about boobs. So let's do this. Let's talk about Raw.
Boobs.
Boobies. Raw, July 6, 2015. It's filmed live in Chicago, and we're right around the corner from Battleground, right? It's 2 weeks away. Papo, the show starts off with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Paul basically comes out and reminds us why we worship at the altar of Brock Lesnar. Tell me, how entertaining was it, or was it a good move? Let's do this. Was it a good move to start the show with Brock and Heyman?
It was an awesome idea to start the show with Brock and Heyman. Heyman went into detail about past opponents he had in regards to how he either respected or did not disrespect them. And it came to a point where he went into detail how he does not respect Rollins, but now he has a disrespect for Rollins and a hatred for Rollins for being the snake that he is. Your insight?
Yeah, man. No, I'm with you. That's pretty much exactly what he said. I mean, he basically said, we can distill it really quick, is that Brock really doesn't have a stake or a share in doing one thing or another, right? It's just a thing that he's decided to do. He doesn't hate the guy. He doesn't dislike the guy. He doesn't disrespect him. It's just a thing for him to do because he's a conqueror and he does what he does. But now Seth Rollins has given him a reason to care, and Seth Rollins basically should be preparing to kiss his ass goodbye. One of the interesting things that he says in that promo is that Heyman says that Seth Rollins has broken the 11th commandment, and I'm going to mention this specifically because it is brought up later on in the show. Thou shalt not intentionally provoke the beast, Brock Lesnar. Heyman tells us that Brock will take the championship back at WWE Battleground, but the beatings will begin tonight in the City Hall of Suplex City, which is, of course, in Chicago, apparently. Goddamn, that was an amazing promo. A couple of quick things. Is this Brock Lesnar being a good guy, or is this just giving us more of a reason to hate Seth Rollins?
A little from column A, a little from column B. He is definitely playing the face on this role. Definitely playing the face.
Did Paul Heyman miss his calling? And I ask that because the way it's very... This is probably a poor use of the English language, religious-esque, in the sense that he refers to Brock Lesnar. Like, for example, he says, quote, Seth Rollins is going to learn the hard way that Brock Lesnar is the Lord thy God, hallowed be his name. He is not the God of love, family, charity, or forgiveness. He is the God of violent retribution. It almost seems like Paul missed his calling and could have been a fire and brimstone preacher.
Or, for better words, an awesome public speaker.
Absolutely. What was your takeaway from this promo, aside from what we talked about earlier? Because we talk about, and one moment, because we talk about setting the bar high, right? A lot of pay-per-views will talk about the opening match, and we'll ask the question, did it set the bar too high, or did it set the bar high enough to kind of light a fire under everybody else's asses? With the story as it's going right now, and with the participants involved, was this opening segment setting the bar too high that the rest of Raw could not meet or surpass?
King Kong couldn't climb this building. I mean, this opening segment was like off the hook. I mean, I would go off and say that this was close to being my good. Nobody interfered. Nobody came out. And it was like a sweet, untainted public speaking from Paul Heyman with his client, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, man. It was fucking dope. So speaking about things that are dope, let's transition into something that maybe is a little less entertaining, shall we?
I guess so.
Something that maybe is a little less, wait for it, awesome?
Yeah. That was a poor segue.
Yeah, it was. Before this, Michael Cole does remind us immediately following that segment with Brock and Paul that Kane is currently enjoying his vacation in Hawaii, and J&J are on a road trip in their new 2015 Cadillac CTS, meaning, allegedly, supposedly, that Seth Rollins will be all alone. So, now let's jump back to the first match on the show. It's Big Show versus Ryback. And I don't really want to spend too much time on it because I don't think there's much that can be said. But basically, all you need to know is that Miz joins ringside in a director's chair with a microphone in hand. And basically, is it correct to say that he was cheerleading?
He was crowd control. He was getting the crowd to back up whoever he wanted them to back up. And the crowd ate it up. I'm going to go off and say that this triple threat match for the pay-per-view, I'm now getting a little bit more interested because it's the big guy versus the Big Show versus the Big Mouth.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say the big asshole, but I'll take that one too. Is Miz an effective hype man?
He is an effective hype man. He's got the wrestling skills of a top performer, but then he's got the mic skills of of a young Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South.
You can do it, baby. Oh my God, baby, 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 baby. A bullhorn, baby, baby, baby. Right? That?
Exactly.
That was terrible. I'm drunk. Sorry. Not sorry. Let's move on and talk about what happened at the end of this match, and then we'll keep it rolling. Fair?
Touche.
So what ends up happening is that Miz keeps interrupting the match on the microphone, distracting both Ryback and the Big Show, and eventually Miz comes in and attacks both Ryback and the Big Show when they're down, when they're wounded, basically near the very end of the match. And then afterwards, both men confront Miz as he basically pleads and begs for his life to let him go in one piece. But then, of course, Miz eats a shell shock and then gets chokeslammed, and then Ryback clotheslines the shit out of Big Show. Is this a match we're looking forward to? And where would you put this on the card of Battleground?
I would have this as a second match of the show. It's not a caliber to go ahead and set the pace for the entire show. But again, it now has my attention since they had this awesome match. And I say awesome match with The Miz being the hype man.
So, last question, then we'll move on. Obviously, you and I are not really excited about Big Show just because we're tired of seeing his big ass. Sorry, it's big.
Stop looking at his ass.
I can't help it. It's like all ass. He's a giant. What do you want from me? Deal with it. I can't help it. I likes what I likes, apparently. Does Miz...
And he cannot lie.
I cannot. Is Miz taking a boring feud on paper and making it interesting?
Technically, yes. On paper, he is making it interesting.
All right. Anything else you wanted to add before we talk about J&J on their road trip and then the Bella match?
I'd rather not talk about J&J on their road map and get into the Bella match.
Well, let's just briefly mention it. J&J, they're on a road trip. Now let's talk about the Bella match. See what I did there? Let's see. So it's Brie Bella with Nikki and Alicia Fox versus Paige. So again, Paige is outnumbered, outgunned. So we come back from the commercial break, and they're already in the ring. And this wasn't a bad match, was it? Papo, what were your thoughts on this match?
Honestly, this match lacked luster.
You know what? Actually, can I make it easier on you?
Go ahead, please.
Okay. Was this better or worse than last week's match, Paige versus Alicia Fox?
This was actually better.
Really?
Yes.
No shit. I would have gone the other way with it. Why was it better?
Well, Paige actually looked cleaner in this match.
Like physically cleaner, or like cleaner in the ring?
Cleaner in the ring with her in-ring performance. Something last week with Alicia Fox, they didn't seem to mesh too well. But Brie seemed to mesh a little bit better with Paige.
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe it's because they've actually had multiple matches together.
That would make sense. So let's talk about Brie, right? Because this is it's telling that we're talking about Brie specifically because A, not only is she a part of the match, but B, I think at least, and I'd like to get your opinion, something significant happens here. Basically, blah 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 blah. At the end of the match, Nikki and Alicia are able to distract Paige long enough for Brie to capitalize and hit the Bella Buster for the win. Correct me if I'm wrong, Papo. We have not seen the Bella Buster in a long time.
Yeah. Brie was actually, within the last couple of months, just being Nikki's valet, so...
Now, I don't know if this counts on SmackDown. I don't watch SmackDown. I don't watch Superstars. Don't watch Main Event. Couldn't tell you. I only watch the show that matters. So, that being said, since we haven't seen the Bella Buster in, I'm going to say a year, easy, right? When was the last time you can remember Brie won a match, a singles match?
Dude, I don't remember.
Right?
I honestly don't remember at all.
She's been like second fiddle to her sister. And ironically, I think Nikki is the one that wears the O2 on the back of her shirt. Like she's the second born, right?
I believe so. Don't quote me on it though.
Oh, I'll quote you. Motherfucker, I will quote you. I'm quoted. It says right here, Papo, Brie Bella can get some. Do you want to talk about Roman Reigns? That's an exact quote. Do you want to talk about Roman Reigns versus Sheamus?
Just go into it real quick.
All right, so Roman Reigns had a match with Sheamus. That was a thing. That's it, really. So they had a match. It was a thing. Wasn't nearly as good as their match last week. During the match, probably I'm going to say near the end of the match, so maybe like the 8 or 9 minute mark, Bray Wyatt's music plays, and he comes walking down the ramp, the entrance ramp, with the lantern and and the whole deal. Lights go down, all that. So Reigns runs down and hits him with a Superman punch, only to discover that, surprise, it was not really Wyatt. It was some other fat guy with no tattoos. The real Eater of Worlds then appears on the Tron and says, "Anyone but you, Roman. Anyone but you." And then Lillian Garcia is glad to tell us that Sheamus has won via countout despite no actual count seen or heard. I had that in my notes. I didn't see or hear a count. Papo, did you see or hear a count?
Negator, Skeletor.
Boom. I wish I was that skinny. You kidding me? Jesus. All right, so second question. Is it just me, or have they gone the other way and completely dropped Roman Reigns' daughter from the story between the two?
I think it's best that they did, but they obviously dropped her out of the story. I mean, because involving his daughter shows him to be vulnerable.
So I'm not understanding. So I want to take a moment and double check. So, in your opinion, taking his daughter out of the storyline, good or bad?
It's a double-edged sword, dude, because it actually shows him being human, but then yet we don't want it to be too creepy, especially that whole kidnapping thing. I mean, I can understand him taking the daughter out. I mean, you're expecting, I have kids, and it's just something that you really don't want to touch on.
But he didn't really kidnap her, though. He just alluded to it, and then like a true villain, he didn't really do it at all. And Roman Reigns just sucks at watching his kid because he doesn't know. It's 11 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Apparently, Roman Reigns doesn't.
Not too many people know that. It's 11 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Oh, man, alcohol. That's fun. Yeah, but I don't like it. I'm going to be honest. I don't like it. I felt like there was a large enough portion of the audience, vocal minority, whatever you want to call them, that do not like Roman Reigns. And that this is an easy way to build sympathy for him. How could you not like this guy? He's fighting to protect his daughter. Remember that movie Man on Fire?
Yeah.
That was a kick-ass movie, right? Denzel is brought in. He's a bodyguard for a rich Mexican family. They steal a young Dakota Fanning, and he just goes fucking ballistic and just kills everybody. He sticks a bomb up another man's ass just to get this little girl back, right?
Yeah, and he chopped some dude's fingers off with a cigar cutter. It was
yeah!
awesome. And then he cauterized the fingers.
Yeah, and it wasn't even his kid. So, I wanted to see Roman Reigns, put Bray Wyatt's head through the fucking cement floor, right? I wanted to see him go get some. And I feel like if they weren't going to go that way, they shouldn't have started. It's one of those things that I feel like you can't be half pregnant, right? Either you're going to do something or you're not going to do something. Yeah, no pun intended. So I just feel like if there was a concern that it would be too weird, then they should have just scrapped it. But given all the weird shit that they've done over the years, I didn't think it was that bad. I remember when, was it Kai and Tai chopped off Val, or supposedly, allegedly chopped off Val Venus's dick? I choppy your pee-pee? I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life, bro.
Triple H as Kane.
The Katie Vick incident. Such weird things. And, we're upset about this one, especially in an age where we're telling everyone, yeah, no, it's fake. Deal with it. So, I don't know. I don't like it. I feel like even if it is creepy, that's even more of a reason to do it, because it makes those people who would like Wyatt go, I don't feel comfortable with that. No, I'm going to boo him, right? And that's the whole purpose of good guys and bad guys. So moving on, at the end of the match, after the match, Sheamus celebrates his win, and Randy Orton comes out and attacks Sheamus. Papo, where the fuck was Randy Orton at?
I have no fucking clue.
Can I tell you the problem that I had
Where
with
was
this? I don't know.
Please do. Come on.
First of all, we've seen Sheamus and Orton probably way too many times at this point. I couldn't count. They're not great. They're individually really good, but together it's just kind of meh. It's like John Cena and Randy Orton, right? Individually, these guys are really good, but they just don't really work well together, right? But here's a better question, Papo. You and I, we do a show. We watch this program.
We do the show.
Excuse me, the show. Fucking pronouns up in this motherfucker. We do the show. We watch this shit every week without fail. Why are these two fighting again?
I have no fucking clue.
Right? Like, we don't know why they're fighting. It just doesn't make any sense. And I'm going to use an analogy here that's appropriate because it's fucking July and it's hot as balls here, and I'm sure it's hot as balls there. Have you ever seen the movie Jaws? It's critically acclaimed as one of the greatest movies ever made.
I've seen Jaws plenty of times.
Okay, good. So you know how in Jaws the shark eats the girl, and then the shark eats the little boy, and then the police chief, I think his name is, I have it here. So Chief Brody Hooper, the oceanographer, and Shark Hunter Quint go after Jaws, right? They go after the shark. Imagine if that movie took place and that whole first third of the movie where they give you a reason as to why these guys are hunting the shark isn't there. The movie just starts with them hunting the shark. It wouldn't probably be one of the greatest movies ever made, right? Because you have to have a reason. Why is it important? Why are these guys oh, the shark eats kids. Okay, fuck that shark. We're going to go kill that thing. Right, we're gonna make shark boots if that's a thing. I don't know, but I have no idea why Randy Orton and Sheamus are fighting. It's just because reasons, and that's not good enough. I mean, do you feel the same way, or am I just drunk and I just care too much?
A little from column A and a little from column B, because
I was gonna tell you to fuck yourself, but go ahead.
I'm still on the fence. Like, why are these two even why is even? Maybe he's just picking a fight.
Okay, well then you know what could solve that? A little simple line if he says, you know what, I don't like your
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Right. I don't like your haircut. They don't like your haircut, and I don't like your fucking ginger ass. I'm gonna kick it. That's all. Like, that's
are
all
you not entertained?
Yeah, right. I'm not entertained, you son of a bitch. I'm gonna kick your ass, and you hurt my buddy Neville and stuff. I don't know. Fuck it. Let's talk about a backstage segment with Triple H and Seth Rollins, shall we?
Go ahead.
So Triple H and Seth Rollins speak privately about his plan for Lesnar. Triple H initially suggests that since Rollins has the championship advantage, to basically just ignore Brock, right? Let him wait, let him stew, let him get upset, and then once he's annoyed and upset and flustered, basically to capitalize on whatever mistake Brock makes in the heat of the moment at Battleground. But then Triple H realizes that because Brock Lesnar is no mortal human, he's no mortal man, such tactics won't work, and that maybe Seth should think outside the box. Maybe he should do exactly what Heyman said one shouldn't do, quote, and this is where we mentioned from earlier, intentionally provoke the beast. Seth Rollins says he will do exactly like drink.
Yeah.
Okay. Seth Rollins says he will do exactly that, which is something that no one expects, and he's going to call Brock out while he's still emotional and upset. I don't know about you, Papo. Are you getting the feeling that Triple H is purposefully, because in storyline he's stacking the deck against Rollins to make Rollins better, right? To give him an obstacle to overcome, right? To turn a piece of boring coal into a diamond. That's what he's telling Rollins. Is it just me, or is there a pervasive feeling that that's not really the case? That he's just sick of his bitching and he just wants to get rid of him, and the easiest way to do that is to bring Brock in.
It's like he's trying to set him up to fail.
Right? And Rollins is like too stupid to put it together.
Too stupid.
Is that problematic for a guy who's supposed to be the architect of the Shield, or can we chalk it up to, hubris and overconfidence, that he's just so convinced he's great that he doesn't even see it?
Yeah, it's all about his pompous ass right now, and I think Triple H is trying to humble him.
Well, speaking of asses, you want to talk about Rusev? I mean, Summer Rae?
She has no ass.
Hot Summer. So Rusev and Summer Rae get a segment in the ring, which, by the way, I have to say, Rusev consistently and every time he refers to Summer by name, he always calls her Hot Summer, which is great because, you know, double entendres and stuff. Rusev basically goes on to say he apologized for wasting a year of his life with a pathetic excuse of a woman, Lana, and for, I don't know why, but somehow he apologizes for the stupid Americans. And he apologizes for Dolph Ziggler, not sure why. And then Summer says that we should show Rusev some respect. Dolph Ziggler comes out, says that Rusev owes everything he has, that the two of them make out. And then a cat fight is about to ensue. Now, Papo, you and I spoke about this briefly before we went on air. You were like pumped and primed for this. Shoes came off and you were ready.
I was ready. I was ready to see a cat fight. I want to see these two go at it. I want to see Lana and see how much of a bitch she can be in that fucking ring.
I want to see her skirt get pulled up. Is that bad?
And panties down.
Up with skirts, down with panties. So let's talk about
hashtag that shit.
Is that shit a hashtag? I don't know. Hashtag that shit? I don't know. People tweet me. You know what's
up, panties down.
Someone who knows a little bit better than I do about Twitter and social media, figure that shit out and tell me so I can just talk about it, I guess. I don't know. Twitter's a thing. So Rusev essentially stops the cat fight before it happens, which is great because we've talked about before how, in my opinion, a heel in 2015 has a different job, right? It's not as easy to be a heel now as it has ever been, right? It's harder now than ever. So what a heel has to do nowadays is he has to basically deny the crowd what they want. That's the easiest way to get heel heat. You know, oh, you think I'm going to do some cool move? Nah, I'm going to do a headlock. Fuck you. I'm going to do what you hate, and that's how I'm going to get you upset. So he stops the cat fight before it starts. People are unhappy, and then just beats the bejesus out of Dolph Ziggler with his crutches. There's super kicks. He removes his boot. Spoiler alert, Rusev's fine. His foot is better. Hot Summer attacks Lana and just throws that bitch out of the ring. And Rusev continues to kick the ever-loving shit out of Dolph Ziggler until he's stretchered out. Papo, digest this for me. What was your thoughts?
Too much talking, not enough action, not enough hair whipping, not enough penny shots. But Rusev did play the role. Awesome heel move.
I'm going to be honest. I know Dolph wears them. I don't think Rusev wears panties.
I'm talking about Lana and Hot Summer.
Oh, yes. Lana and Hot Summer. I'm sorry. Continue.
Dick. So it was, I mean, this segment is going to lead into a nice feud between Dolph and Rusev, and I'm actually looking forward to this one. It's been a long time, and Rusev Machka, Dolph Ziggler.
Dude, seriously, and you know, I don't know if you remember this. They've had a match. They've had at least one match before, and that was when they were doing this shtick where someone gets close enough to beat Rusev, and then Rusev just pulls out the victory in the end. I can't wait. That's going to be a great series of matches. I hope it goes. I hope they do a best of 7, right? I hope they do a whole bunch of fucking matches. That would be great. They carry us out of the summer and into whatever the next season is. Spring, fall, whatever the fuck that is. I'm going to say winter, whatever that is, not summer. Let's talk about your buddy Bo Dallas having a match with Dean Ambrose. Surprisingly, Papo, I hear you actually enjoyed a Bo Dallas match.
This match was awesome. Again, I am not a Bo lever, so don't get your pennies in a bunch.
Oh, they're in a bunch. They've been in a bunch for days. I'm not going to be honest.
Yeah, they're in a bunch on the dresser right next to you.
Shh.
But Dean Ambrose and Bo Dallas put on an awesome match. I paid close attention to this match. There was no miss spots. You don't hear them talking to each other, and it played the storyline excellent.
Does
And
Bo
I would
Dallas?
say that this is my match of the night.
Ooh, shocker. That's surprising. Does Bo Dallas at all remind you of Barry Windham?
In his movement, yes.
Okay. So, what did you think about the dueling chants? Let's go Ambrose, we believe. I think Chicago's Bo leaving.
Yeah, I believe he got a good pop from the crowd, for real.
I think they were listening to that Journey song. You know, Don't Stop Bo
Don't
Leaving.
stop believing.
And we won't, even though Ambrose wins with the Dirty Deeds double arm DDT. Anything else you care to add before we talk about one of the worst matches on the show?
No, I mean, again, this match was an awesome match. No missed spots, nice pace, cool storyline, and the victor goes to Dean Ambrose, Lunatic Unfringed.
So, next segment, it's King Truth, R-Truth, King What's Up versus King Bad News. This was a thing that actually happened. R-Truth is walking around with a toilet plunger as a scepter. Yeah. What do you quickly tell us what your thoughts are? I'll tell us what my thoughts are. We'll say what happened, and then we'll talk about the best part of the show.
Right. I mean, you said it best. King Harley Race versus Junkyard Dog.
Dude, it is. It is. It's that feud, but like way worse.
Way worse. I mean, honestly, this match was all around sloppy, and I expected a lot more from R-Truth. But
well, you know why this match had to happen, right?
Why?
Because, Barrett had to win, and Barrett just can't win matches, so he has to face Truth so he can actually win, because he's not treated well. Basically, the end, Barrett wins by hitting the bullhammer elbow to Truth. So Truth basically dives from the second rope and eats a bullhammer elbow in midair. Anything else you wanted to add before we talk about what I think, and I'm sure you do, is the best segment on the show?
Nothing more to add.
All right. So Seth Rollins comes out, walks down to the ring, calls out the Beast Incarnate, the Conqueror, the whatever he is, Brock Lesnar, right? The one in 21-1. So himself, whatever, J&J, they all come out with axe handles. Is that gimmick infringement that they're to use sledgehammers or baseball bats, that they just have to use axe handles with no axes?
Well, we can say they played it safe.
Played it safe. Keeping it PG. Rollins, of course, does what a heel does best, cuts a promo about how great he is, provokes the Beast by calling him Paul Heyman's bitch. Surprise, surprise, Brock Lesnar comes out, and he basically makes like he's going to walk into the ring. Now, if you can picture this, Brock Lesnar's on the ramp. Paul Heyman's all the way up, back on the stage. In the ring, you got Jamie Noble, Joey Mercury, and Seth Rollins. They all have axe handles. So imagine an axe without the axe part. There you go. Boom. Did it for you. Done. Magic. Look at that. So he realizes, you know what, I got my ass kicked 2 weeks ago by the Authority, so I'm not going to play their game. And then he basically slowly, ever so slowly, backpedals all the way up back to the stage. And what I forgot to mention here is that there's some sort of gnat flying around in my room. Get the fuck out of here, Martin. There's a Cadillac. The Cadillac. It's a CTS.
Yes.
That's
2015.
2015, boom. That's parked on the stage, and basically Brock Lesnar summons Heyman and tells him to go get the box. Heyman comes back with his box on wheels. Lo and behold, it's full of stuff that firemen use, a.k.a. Fire extinguishers and axes. And he proceeds to chop the ever-loving shit out of the Cadillac. Now, if that wasn't impressive enough, smashing the windows and just brutally vandalizing this particular vehicle, he rips the fucking door off. I think it's the driver's side rear door. Just rips it off like it's nothing, right? And just casually throws it like it's a plastic friggin' frisbee. J&J then foolishly take the bait. They leave the ring. They run down the ramp. They rush the Beast. And if I remember correctly, Brock basically, it's insinuated that Brock snaps Noble's arm with a Kimura lock, and then takes, what was it, Mercury, and gives him like a belly-to-belly overhead suplex onto the Cadillac itself, right?
Right.
And then he runs to the ring, jumps in the ring, and Rollins effectively pees his pants and runs away for his life. Is that a good summation of what occurred here?
Meh.
So what did
Meh.
so what did you think?
I think Brock did us justice by getting rid of that redneck mobile.
How did you feel about Rollins running away?
Yeah, through the crowd. That was kind of funny. I had to laugh a little bit.
It was great. I loved every second of it. Now, what do you want to talk about next? Do you want to talk about Lucha Dragons versus The New Day, or do you want to talk about the new cover art for WWE 2K60?
Well, I think we should at least give the people a lowdown on the Lucha Dragons versus New Day.
We should very much... I'm sorry,
We
go
got to
ahead.
talk about the commentary.
We do. But before we do that, I'm going to just take a few moments and give a quick couple of plugs. If you've hung in with us this far, if you've tolerated my drunken, this blithering assholeness, thank you. You're amazing. I love you. I want to have your babies, but I just don't have the compatible parts. But we do appreciate you sticking around. So listen, just a couple of quick things. If you didn't already, right, like, comment, share, subscribe. That's all I ask. Maybe you go in the description box. Maybe you go to patreon.com. Maybe you make a donation and we can get a mixer and some microphones and we can make it look like we're professionals. Again, the operative word in that sentence being look like, or words plural, excuse me. Maybe, here's an idea, maybe you send an email to tedandpapo@gmail.com, right? Maybe you're like, hey, what's your guys' favorite pay-per-view of all time? Hey, what kind of socks do you wear? Hey, should I wear boxers or briefs? I don't know. They're your emails. Send them to us. We could use them. Go to the Facebook page. Stuff on Twitter. I don't know. Description box below. Papo, you ready for Lucha Dragons and New Day?
Lucha, 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 lucha.
Can you do that again? The camera didn't get it.
Lucha, 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 lucha. Dick.
All right, let's do that. So, although Lucha Dragons versus The New Day was a pretty good match, it was pretty fucking good, I'm not going to lie. I would put it probably in my top 5.
Definitely top 5.
Of the night, which I think maybe there were 6 matches, so that probably doesn't say too much.
Yeah.
It was really good, right? Because tag team wrestling is awesome when it's done right, and it's usually the best wrestling ever when it's done right. But I got to talk about what was even better about this match, which is that the primetime player sat in on the commentary team. Papo, tell us about Titus O'Neil and how he missed his calling as a color commentator.
Yo, the primetime players were awesome on commentary. Titus O'Neil talked so much crap to JBL, it wasn't even funny. But it was funny.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true. It's very funny. Dude, didn't at one point JBL ask something about everybody's education, and Titus was able to successfully say where each of the 3 members of New Day went to school, went to college, and then said that they all have degrees, and then JBL put a snub in like, well, do you have a degree? And Titus O'Neil was like, I got 2 degrees, bitch. How many degrees do you have? That was amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah, man. I mean, he spent the entire match telling JBL how to do his job. He's like, call a match, JBL. Call a match. What, you're not going to do it? I'll do it for you. Shit, I don't want to make you look bad. It was incredible. Oh, my God. Just proof positive that JBL is not good on commentary. Big Show is better than him. Titus O'Neil is better than him. And Titus O'Neil...
The Miz.
Dude, The Miz is awesome. Pun intended,
Nice.
Maybe? I don't know.
Nice segue.
Ha 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 ha, yeah.
Yeah, he's been redeemed.
So in the end, New Day wins with that big ending combo move where Biggie gets the guy up in the big ending, and then Kofi does this weird kind of like flying DDT on the right side. I don't know what to call it, and then like lands onto the big ending, and that's a thing. And the New Day wins because New Day rocks. Now, are you ready to talk about the announcement for the WWE 2K16 video game?
Yes.
Alcohol? Why don't you tell the people what's going on there while I finish my adult beverage?
Could I get a hell yeah?
What?
Can I get a hell yeah?
What?
Exactly.
No, really, what? I don't
We
understand.
have Stone Cold Steve Austin on the cover of WWE 2K16. They stated that it's going to be the largest roster ever. So I'm quite curious to see exactly what characters are in. Can we port over our created characters and see what this game has to offer us for October?
I'm gonna go. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment. I think October is it's usually when they come out. I'm gonna be honest. I'm super serial. I'm crazy excited. Right? Like I want to say. By the way, I have it. I love it. It's super fun. I love the mechanics in this new game. It's missing a lot. I feel like there should be more in the game, but the gameplay is not bad at all. It's actually a surprising improvement. Was it 2K13 where they did the 30 years of WrestleMania, or was that 2K4? Which one was it? They did. I think 2K13 was Attitude Era, and 2K14 was 30 years of WrestleMania, right?
I can't even back you up, Teddy.
Dude, I'm gonna say 2013 was the Attitude Era, and that had at the time that had the largest roster, and it was like the current roster with the exception of a few different guys that weren't in that, and then like a bunch of like everybody basically but Owen Hart, which made me sad because I was like, I want to play as the King of Hearts. But yeah, man, I'm super stoked. Hey, quick question. So Austin is on the cover of 2K16, right? If we follow the pattern, 2K13, CM Punk was on the cover. That was like CM Punk's year, right? That was the 434 some odd days he was WWE champion. The next year was The Rock, but also on the inside they had the fan Daniel Bryan insert where you could flip it around, and then instead on the outside, instead of having The Rock, you had Daniel Bryan. 2K15 was John Cena's year. He's on the cover. Is this hinting at a possible WrestleMania 32 appearance for the Rattlesnake?
Well, I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, but on the podcast on the WWE Network, Stone Cold had Paul Heyman on there. And at the end of the show, Paul Heyman hinted to a Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Brock Lesnar. And let me tell you, Stone Cold got a bit perturbed, if you will.
If you will, he got prickly. He got downright Texas cactus prickly. And basically cut a promo right there on Heyman and how he would kick Brock Lesnar's ass up and down 316 Gimmick Street. And how basically it would have to be a Texas death match. So two quick questions before we talk about the main event, and then we'll get out of here. And then we'll go into our award-winning segment, which I forgot to mention at the top of the show. Sorry, alcohol's a thing. Are we gonna get Austin at WrestleMania 32? Because you never really answered my question. And would it be against Brock Lesnar, or would there be someone better on the roster?
I want this match. If I had a choice, I would say yes. It's going to happen at WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. I want this match. Make it happen.
Done. If you couldn't have Brock Lesnar versus Stone Cold, is there anybody else on the active roster that you would have in Brock's place?
Randy Orton.
The Viper versus the Rattlesnake. I can dig it. Or as one gentleman put it, oh, hell yeah. Do you want to talk about that any longer, or do you want to get down and dirty into the main event, and then we can do our allegedly award-winning segment, The Good, the Bad, and the Fugly?
Let's keep this ball rolling.
All right, so we got the John Cena U.S. Open Invitation Challenge, right? John Cena cuts obligatory Cena promo, blah, blah, blah. Chicago doesn't like me, blah, blah, blah. Champ is here, blah, blah, blah. Oh, look, it's Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens comes in the ring, cuts a promo on the stage, basically calls out Cena for saying the same thing over and over again in this segment each and every week. He says he no longer wants the the United States title. He needs it. Now, by the way, if you didn't watch Beast from the East on the WWE Network, to take you up to speed, Kevin Owens lost that title to Finn Balor in Japan. It's a very good match. I would really strongly recommend watching it. I don't know why it wasn't the main event. That was just kind of silly. But it was it was probably like a 30-minute match. It was really killer. Very, very fun.
Awesome match. Me and my nephew watched it, and my nephew also asked, why wasn't that the main event?
Right? Like, why was the Cena tag match the main event? That just seems silly and stupid. Like, if you were going to do that as, like, the dark match, then you just do that after the cameras stop rolling. Like, you just don't show that. Because Cena was over as fuck in Japan, but I was just like, man, that's not the main event? I don't give a fuck. Oh, and spoiler alert, Brock Lesnar fucking murdered Kofi Kingston and all of the New Day in the First Degree. So, I guess it would be second degree murder, right? First degree is pre-planned. So, basically, Kevin Owens is like, fuck you, John Cena. I was going to wait to Battleground, but no, I'm going to take your title right here and now because I need it, and I don't have a title around my waist, and I need one desperately. When Cesaro comes out and tells Kevin Owens effectively to shut your fat mouth because I was about to beat Cena. I was about to make Mr. Never Give Up tap out in the sharpshooter last week before you interfered. So if anybody gets this match, it's me, and if you don't like it, I'll Freudian slip. I'll kick your little round chubby ass. Owens leaves, and we get Cesaro versus Cena. Now, before we talk about Cesaro versus Cena, real quick, did it bother you how Owens reacted? Because I see a lot of people on the internet wrestling community really aren't big fans of how Owens reacted to Cena. Did it bother you that Cesaro? Did it bother you that Owens basically backed down to the Swiss Superman?
Yes and no. I mean, I would like to see them go at it, but then yet Owens does play that hero, and he makes every move to his terms, not nobody else's.
And
so it fit perfectly.
And he's already got a scheduled match, right? Like, he doesn't have to cash in on one of these deals with the U.S. Open Challenge. Like, he's got his match already in the bag. He can bide his time. So let's talk about John Cena versus Cesaro, because last week that was match of the night, and goddamn, these guys put on a fucking clinic. Long and short, Cena won with the attitude adjustment from the second rope after an incredibly hard-fought victory. And I have in my notes, holy fuck balls, this match was all sorts of amazing. Now, before we get into what happens after the match, I just want to briefly talk about the match itself. Papo, was this better or worse than last week's Cena versus Cesaro match?
Actually, I liked last week's better.
Was it because they flubbed on the springboard stunner spot?
That was one of the reasons. But I'll go into more detail right now. Last week was they had minimal missed spots, but this match here between Cesaro and Cena, they didn't flow like they did last week. I mean, you could hear them talking spots, you can see them missing spots, and it just, again, I mean, it was pretty dynamic, but then yet sloppy at the same time.
So, at the end of the match, after the match, Kevin Owens swoops in for a pop-up powerbomb, but Cena counters with a half-ass attitude adjustment. So, quick question. He hits Kevin Owens with the attitude adjustment, and instead of Kevin Owens being effectively knocked out, Kevin Owens immediately rolls out of the ring and runs away. Did that bother you that he was able to run away that soon after being hit with a finisher? Or was it believable because Cena's, energy bar was spent?
It was believable because he didn't take a toll throughout the whole match. He only got hit with that one move, so it's not going to affect him as much as he was if he had to go throughout the whole match.
Like you kind of have to build up to a finisher. You just can't hit a finisher right off
Exactly.
the bat. Okay,
Exactly.
I can dig
EGG exactly.
it. Eggs. They make me poop. Anyway, let's talk about our supposedly, allegedly, finger air quotes, award-winning segment. It might not be. Maybe I'm just drunk and I'm making this shit up. I don't know. Get at me. Tweet me. Email me. Do something. I don't know. Description box. It's all there. I did all the fucking work. Don't be lazy. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the fugly. So, Papo, why don't you go first and hit me with your good, hit me with your bad, and hit me with your fugly. And just, if the people aren't aware, go ahead and briefly explain the segment as if it isn't already self-explanatory.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Good, the Bad, and the Fugly, where me and Ted, the TEDD, go into details about our Good, the Bad, and Fugly of the show. Now, I'm going to go first off on the bat and let you know what my Good, the Bad, and Fugly is. My good was a Dean Ambrose Bo Dallas match. Solid match, excellent pace, fit the storyline. The crowd loved it. Chicago, those fans are believers.
Oh, shit.
My bad was the Divas match. The whole thing just lackluster, and it was just a hashtag poo-poo on WWE Divas.
Can we get that trending? I mean, I would, but I don't know how to use Twitter. Could someone who's better at it than I am, could you please make that a thing? Hashtag, what was it? Hashtag what?
Hashtag poo-poo on WWE Divas.
Please do that. I don't know if Twitter allows for so many characters in one post, but goddamn, that'd be amazing.
Okay, and my fugly was the John Cena back springboard stunner, which was totally off, totally botched, and I was like, oh my god. I actually stood up, and I'm like, are these guys for real? My nephew flinched. I got up so quick.
Well, I mean, Cesaro kind of sold it like he didn't get all of it, right? Because that's the commentary trick when someone kind of flubs a move. Like, that's the easy cover. Like, oh, he didn't get him with all of it. He only got him with a little bit. That's why it looks so terrible. I don't know. I didn't mind it. So let me give you my good, bad, and fugly, and then we'll get out of here. My good is that we were graced with the presence of the mayor himself of Suplex City, Brock Lesnar, and just everything Brock Lesnar on the show. That's my good. My bad is the lack of an explanation for the Orton versus Sheamus feud. They've been feuding. I'm going to say they feuded for like 3 weeks, and then Orton was off TV for 3 weeks, and now they're feuding again. Still don't know why. Just remember that fucking Jaws. If we don't know why those guys are...
Dun dun. Dum 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 dum.
If we don't know why they're hunting this shark, then the story makes no sense. It's just it's just the Discovery Channel or some reality programming. It's not that good, right? I need to know why Sheamus and Orton are fighting, even if it's just something silly as I don't like you, I hate Irish people, fucking you potato.
You chew too loud.
You chew too loud. You smell, and I don't like potatoes. So therefore, I'm going to take it out on your face. You know, any of that would help. Or you're just being a dick, and I don't like dicks. I don't know, just saying. My fugly was the rehash of King Harley Race versus JYD, except a million times worse. This whole King Booker versus King Truth feud is awful and terrible, and I'm sure Truth likes it because he's now getting TV time, and you know he must be like on his way to retirement because they haven't done dick with Truth for years, and now all of a sudden, like for the past 6 months, he's been relevant. Not that I mind. I really like R-Truth. If I was there, I'd say what's up and all that good shit. I just don't care for the feud. I think it's shitty and awful and terrible, and it's just a waste and just bad. It could be way better. Papo, is there anything else that we have to talk about?
We are done with Raw. Thank you for hanging with us, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate your time. And I think my co-host here has something obscene to say.
Motherfuckers.
We appreciate you.
Again, like, comment, subscribe, share. Go to the Facebook page, send us emails, show me how Twitter works because I'm just not smart when it comes to technology. I can barely do this YouTube shit. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ted. That is Papo, and we are out of here. Thank you very much for watching. And you can't see me? Or you can? Peace. I don't know. Goodbye. Fuck you. Get out of here. No, you go first. Fine. We're leaving. Fine. Fine. Good. Bye. I mean it this time. Good day, sir.